Hey kids, Coach Patrick here with a quick review of the Quassy bike and run courses. I know it's a bit late, but better late than never. And I'm looking specifically at the 56, the half iron course, the Rev3 half. Okay. All right, let's head over and we're going to look at this bike route in full screen. So you get a chance to kind of dig into it. It's a pretty hilly course and challenging. Can be fast. But I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about how I would break the course down. You guys can obviously you guys can knock yourself out. I'm not sure what your IF goals are for the ride, etc. Okay, you can see the mile markers are here. Is that helpful? Every 10. What was it the way before? Hold on. Let's see. I don't know what I did. Now it's even worse than it was before. All right. Turn off those distance markers. How does that sound? We'll make those go away right now. And we will show the elevation. Okay. I want to make sure we get this right. I may I'm gonna refresh the screen here. So everyone has their IF goals for the day, and one of the challenging elements of a course like this is riding a true IF. And even though you'll be scrolling through your screens perhaps even hitting the lab button every so often, fact of the matter is it's going to be very hard for you to get it all right. So let's first of all, let's just take a look at the here we go. Hold on a second. With the elevation here. So I'll take a look at the flow of the course. Basically, so the way the course is going to work, you're going to start here at the amusement park, right? We basically will ride out of the amusement park up and then start this loop. Okay, we're going to be riding counterclockwise, right? Around, working our way sort of in this big sort of circular loop, right? Up to Northfield, kind of peaks at this winery, and then comes back down. The other side, you're going to have a right-hand turn, which is an out and back, pretty flat section here of an out and back. It looks to be about 35 to 30, about 3 mile out and back. And then we'll come back around and we'll complete the rest of the ride back into Quassy, into the amusement park. So chance for you to see some people here on the out and back section, which is nice. Let's take a look at how the ride breaks down. There's two significant climbs here. We've got a climb here, 4.5 to 5.5 early, and then that's 480 up to 750, and that's a 1.5 mile climb again. So you got two significant climbs in the first 10 miles. Then it's kind of steady climbing up around, and then it drops down for a little while till about mile. Looks like once you get past the state park here, about mile 22. Mile 22, when the road starts to bear left, that's when you've got the most significant climb of your day. So we've got climb number 1, we've got climb number 2, we've got some steady climbing but not too bad, good descent, and this descent ends up being somewhere in the neighborhood of 15.5 to about 6 miles of flat to down. But then we start climbing, and we climb from about 21 up to 27, which is about 6 miles of good climbing, and there with some really, really steep sections. Then you end up with some rollers here, and then some downhill to end. So I would look at this course, and the way that I would break it down is to say, wow, during my warm-up section here, I've got two significant climbs to kind of test my legs and see how I feel. The way I'm going to test my legs is I'm going to spin things out and be super smart. My goal for the first hour of this bike, the first 20 miles, is to take in 2 bottles. And so these hills are only an inconvenience in that they slow me down from eating and drinking what I want, because I won't be able to do it. So I'm eating and drinking, yada yada yada. And there's definitely some technical sections. It's going to take some work for you to kind of get that right. They get this sharp right to a sharp left-hand turn, right, to another sharp right. So you have to be very mindful in here as you're kind of navigating as you're eating and drinking. I'm not too worried about these climbs. We're going to sit and spin. This sort of main climb on the day, starting here at about 22, and these distances are all approximate. Starting here at this section, this is a really steady climb, and this, if you're looking to like win your age group or something, this is going to be kind of a separation climb where you have to decide what you want to do. The first 2 climbs will give you a sense of how you feel. I definitely recommend people be conservative here. If you're riding whatever percentage of IF you're riding on your bike or effort level you're riding, I wouldn't go much higher than 5% on those watts. So if you were going to ride 85%, I would still just sit on 85% for this climb. Obviously the goal is to have the lowest VI possible on this course, but see what that 85% gets you. This is certainly worth a drive through on the day before if you have a chance to kind of go check that out and see what that looks like. Okay. Once you get through about halfway on the day, then you've got mostly rolling to downhill with a slight incline at the end. And so I would definitely be looking at this course from a negative split perspective, where I would definitely be trying to put in some good time at the end. So just like most of our rides, we want to finish strong. So in these early climbs, sitting up, spinning, using all your gears, lots of deep breathing, taking care of yourself. This climb, still steady and smart. How you pace this climb is a function of what your overall bike goal is on the day. Keeping in context that, of course, there's no such thing as a good bike followed by a bad run. And then looking to finish strong on the second half of that bike. Okay, hope that helps. Let's transition now quickly to the run course. And let me pull in the full screen. Just a second. This run is also a loop. Let's check it out here. It's run in a clockwise direction. The bike is counter-clockwise, but the run is clockwise. Okay, in this case, they've kind of got a bunch of sort of junky miles, but lots of great opportunities for you to see people. So basically, the way the course is going to work, you're going to run around in this sort of clockwise shape loop. You're going to have, basically a half mile out and back here. Let's see, about half mile out and back in this section, right? Which is kind of down and then back out again. You got to climb through about mile 7 to mile 8, and then it's downhill in. And the way it goes downhill in is you run back in, take a left before the finish, and you do a little, this little admin section here where you run down, around, out, and back in again. So you have another sort of 3/4 mile chance to see people right here on an out and back. So you got 2 out and backs, which is kind of nice to kind of check in on people and see where you're at. You come back in, go underneath the road you started on, loop around, climb up a little bit to the main road, and finish. When I look at this, when I look at the run course, basically you've got about 2 miles of some flavor of down, 2 to 3 miles of some flavor of down, but then you've got 5 miles of climbing, and then you've got the remainder is down and rolling in. So I think this course really kind of suits our pacing strategy pretty well as well, which is conservative out of the gate. In this case, you could probably run your target pace out of the gate because you're going downhill. It's going to feel easier. So if your target pace is 8:15s, and you knew you had to run 30 seconds slower than that out of the gate, you might still run close to 8:15s because you're running downhill, right? And then you're going to dial in your steady pace starting at mile 3 for the bulk of your day. This is the work section. Do not kid yourself. And the way that I plan on pacing this is I'm going to be smooth and steady here. I'm going to use this first 3 miles as a chance to eat, and drink, because I'm going to be feeling pretty good in here. So I'm going to be able to handle extra, my calories, etc. I might have a plan to eat and drink out here, but odds are with the elevation changes and so on, it's going to be very hard for me to get lots of food in, and I won't feel so good. So these first couple miles are critical for me to drop my core body temperature and eat and drink as I feel good. This 5-mile section is going to suck. Do not kid yourself. The splits will not look good, and you have to be mentally ready to kind of get through those sections. Once you get through mile 8, and the road starts to go down again, you get a chance to recover, and then it's really the race to the finish. So again, how you pace this run is a function of what your goals are for the day. If you're just looking to finish, I'd be very smart about my nutrition and fluids in here. I'd work on being as steady and as focused as I could through this section, and then finish well. If you are looking to be competitive on the other end of the scale, like trying to win your age group type person, you might be looking at doing some damage in the hilly section and then holding on to the end. Of course, hopefully your fitness will sustain that. For most people, I would say you want to have a pretty easy yet fast first 3 miles. A steady, the best you can, sort of damage control, steady in here, keep your heart rate down through the section, and then try and finish strong over the last 3 miles. How you pace this run, and how you and I might pace this run now, as I do this video, is very different than how we'll pace it on race day. And my guess is that given the heat and the terrain changes and so on, most people will be very pleased with a very strong final 5K finish. All we're going to be really trying to do in this section is mitigate the damage by keeping the heart rate down and trying to stay cool, keeping the core body temperature down. Okay? I'm really looking forward to seeing you guys out there. I hope this video was helpful. I look forward to seeing you guys soon. All right? Good luck.